Stop getting the wrong advice. Ensure you get the right skills for the right job for jobs in the Middle East. Contact Loy Macedo.
All right. I wanted to give my thoughts about rather 1 day or 2 day old news. This is about UAE. A prominent UAE activist, Alaa Al-Siddiq, dies in a UK car crash. So I thought I'll give you my thoughts about this. Now, even though I got this news the day it came, because I subscribe to a lot of news channels, I decided, I'll do some groundwork before I give my thoughts and views. There's always as a YouTuber or a news reader or whatever, you always want to share the news immediately so that it's breaking news or exclusive news. But sometimes, you need to be sure what you're saying. So obviously, when I heard the news, the first thing that came to my mind is, like any other person, maybe they assassinated, or it was an assassination attempt. In fact, there are some outlets which are anti-UAE. They speak about this being a foul play. But then again, see, I always believe that, try to do your best to give out the truth. So in this video, I'll share with you, I'll read out the article and I'll share my thoughts in between the lines. And I'll tell you whether I think it's a, foul play or whether it's a accident. And mind you, this is just my opinion. I can be wrong. Okay. Wait, let me log in. Okay, Al Jazeera, prominent UAE activist Alaa Al-Siddiq dies in UK car crash. So Alaa was the executive director for UK-based non-profit that advocated for human rights in the Gulf. So they show a photograph of her. And below that it says Alaa's father is also a prominent activist who has been held in detention by Emirati authorities since 2013. Okay, so this was dated 20th June 2021. So Alaa Siddiq, why am I saying Siddiqui? Siddiq, a prominent descendant Emirati rights activist and critic, has died in a car crash near London. Alaa was the executive director of the United Kingdom-based Al-Qist, ALQST, a non-profit organization that advocates for greater freedom and human rights in the UAE and wider Gulf region. Then there's this message: with deep sadness, ALQST mourns the sudden death of its loved and respected Executive Director Alaa Al-Siddiq on Saturday, 19th June 2021, the group said in a tweet. May she rest in power. Her father, Mohammed Al-Siddiq, is also a prominent activist who has been held by Emirates authorities since 2013. So until now, what we come to know is the father is held in detention, and she's the daughter, and she loves her father, so she continued his work. And so obviously the suspicion is there that they couldn't get her, so they tried to get rid of her. Then there's a Twitter screenshot from Abrara. Okay. The news of Alaa passing is devastating. Alaa is a human rights defender and daughter of the political prisoner detained in UAE since 2013. Foul play or not, time will tell. Alaa lived and died for justice. Justice will prevail. Then Allah year 7 Amha. Okay. Then there is an Arabic tweet from an Arab guy. I don't know who this is. Today, the able Emirati researcher and honest sister, Professor Alaa Al-Siddiq, left the world while her father, Mohammed Al-Siddiq, languishes in the notorious prison of United Arab Emirates, wrote Saudi activist Abdullah Al-Auda. According to Doha News, Alaa and her husband sought asylum in Qatar in 2012, where they have been living with their relatives. Okay, so when you read this, that they have been in Qatar, they left UAE, so the suspicion is there even more that they maybe wanted to do harm or whatever. The activist presence in Qatar and Doha stands towards political activists at the time when the UAE was cracking down on voices of dissent led to a rift between the two neighbors. Then there is a Twitter screenshot of Fatima Said, devastating news. Alal Siddiq, director of Al Quist, she gives the Twitter handle, died yesterday. She spent most of her life fighting for the release of her father from UAE prisons for rights of prisoners across the world. She never got to see her father to be freed. Ina, Ila, Wa, Ina, Ilya, Rajuni. Maybe some Muslim prayer. Okay. In 2018, Qatar's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani, said the dispute had taken place between Qatar and UAE in 2015 concerning a political descendant's wife. Abu Dhabi has sent an envoy to Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim Al Hamad Al Thani to ask the woman in question be handed over to Emirates authorities, a request that was turned down by Qatari ruler. Though kept his secret, Abdullah Al Atbah, the editor-in-chief of Qatar Al Arab newspaper, later said that Allah was Emirati sought to repatriate. Now, here are my thoughts. Okay, here are my thoughts. See, we as human beings, we like a little bit of controversy. We like gossip. We like shocking news. That's a fact. Okay, let's not act like that's not what we want. As human beings, we like that. So there is always we use our mind and try to get it happened because of this, or this is the reason. Now, in her case, first and foremost, I've never heard of her. So obviously she's not, like, maybe in the Arab world she's famous, but outside the Arab world, I don't know how many people know her. I never heard of her. That's number one. I never saw any papers write about her. Okay, so maybe she was doing work, but she was famous with a small circle of people or whatever. Second one is she was fighting for her father's release, which is commendable. But here, let me tell you, see, you're talking of an Arab monarchy. You're talking of a country where there are kings. See, any country where there is a king, except of course if it's a Western country where they follow, democracy and all that. In most of the countries where there is a king and they follow a monarchy, if you were to insult the king or the religion, it's grounds for imprisonment and in some cases even death. In fact, there are political countries whereby if you criticize the president or you criticize the government, you'll be in deep trouble. In fact, let's not go further. India, you talk anything of the current BJP government or Hinduism or Modi, you can get into serious trouble. I've been told by a contact of mine not to speak on one particular topic related to India. He's a well-wisher of mine, very powerful person. He said, just don't talk about this. So, what you need to understand is there are certain rules, unspoken rules and guidelines. Now, with regards to UAE, now even though I have posted so many, videos highlighting the drawbacks, I also like to give credit where credit is due. I don't want to just speak bad because I can speak bad. That's not my purpose. And even whether it's Islam or whether it's Muslims or Hindus or religion, you can't say everything is good and you can't say everything is bad. There's always a balance. Now, for this lady, UAE loses a lot more by killing her. They lose a lot more. And I'll tell you why. When you kill someone, the publicity, the coverage, yes, the publicity, the coverage, that's way too much. That's way too much. No country wants that. Let me get rid of this phone. One second. Annie, just take this phone, please. Keep it up. One second. My wife is farming. So the country loses a lot more. And, the chances and the possibility of getting caught is way too high. Because, now see, since it happened in the UK, see, if it happened in UAE itself or a poor country, okay, there's always a possibility that it was foul play. In the UK, which openly criticized Sheikh Mohammed, openly exposed some of the drawbacks of UAE. They even talk of when Sheikh Mohammed's son overdosed. No, not overdosed. He was having his party life. Sharjah Sheikh's son was living the crazy lifestyle. These British tabloids, they're waiting for this kind of juicy gossip, and they will bribe anybody, get investigative reporters to expose. So UAE loses a lot more by her death than by her life. By living, she'll constantly try to fight it out and talk about it, and people will not be bothered, However, when a person dies, it's like Jamal Khashoggi. See the impact. Till today, Mohammed bin Salman has been tainted with that death. Had that guy been alive, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. The price that Mohammed Salman had to pay for this guy's death, tremendous. And companies, brands, politicians, celebrity stars, so many, they don't want their name to be ruined. So they're keeping away, And one last thing, let me tell you. See, this business of assassination is not as simple and easy as you think. Now you might ask me, how do I know? Some things are better said, not stated. It's not that I've been involved in anything. I've spoken to people who have been hitmen and members of the mafia. They take my services one-off here and there. And I obviously ask them questions. Is it like this? Is it like this? Because our understanding of what the mafia and people is what we see in Hollywood. And yes, Hollywood likes to put its masala, extra spice and all that. But when you speak to these guys, you talk to them, take their interview, and means not for public viewing. They're not senseless morons. They're businessmen. And this murder thing, I asked them, do you kill people? And he said, it's not that easy. It's not so simple. It's not like you take a gun and shoot like Goodfellas and all that. If you're careless like that, the members of the family themselves will finish you off. You can't live like a madman. And especially today's day and age, where everything goes public and social media, if anything can be sorted out cool, calm, composed or quietly, they'll do it that way. So don't think that this assassination thing is such a game. I personally look at UAE as, yes, UAE has its rules. If I was staying in UAE and I posted videos which are negative to UAE's image or about the UAE ruler or about Islam, not 100, 1 billion% I would be in jail for the rest of my life. Would I be tortured? Yes. Would I undergo pain and suffering? Yes. What do you expect in these Middle East countries and third world countries? Prison life is what, a holiday, what, 5-star hotel? No. You will be finished. So let's call a spade a spade. However, if you're outside the UAE and you're doing your own shit and whatever, they are not going to sit and assassinate you. If that had to be the case, the story of Sheikh Mohammed's daughter, the story of his son dying due to his lifestyle, his wife running away, and there are so many stories like this. They should have assassinated all the journalists, the reporters. In fact, if you check Vice News, I think Vice, where investigative journalist went to UAE to expose UAE, and at the bar, he had a secret camera and recording. Some UAE, government official said, "Come on, don't do this. We'll take care of you. We'll pay you this," or something like that. He was told not to speak negative about UAE. I look at UAE as not a terrorist country. I look at it as a country that is more like live and let live, but it's not perfect. It has its loopholes. And with regards to these activists and these people who want to change the world and all that, I would just tell you that for Arab countries or some Asian countries, democracy is not the answer. You might be surprised if I tell you this. Just look at Egypt. They were under a dictator. Now they have freedom, kind of freedom. Look at what happened to Iraq. They were under a dictator. Now they have freedom. Look at Syria. See, wherever, you might say Syria is okay, still dictator. But wherever you give power to the people, and especially hot-blooded Muslim, and some of them are fanatics, you'll never ever get peace. It's best under a dictator where you rule with the iron hand. At least people get 3 square meals a day. Democracy is not the answer for these Arab countries, especially Muslim Arab countries. Look no further than these Muslims, Arabs who are coming to UK and even Pakistani. Sharia law, this law, that law. See what hassles they're causing. So it's a mad lifestyle, mad belief system. It's best if they are under a ruler, because that's how their religion was created. Plunder, conquest and rule with fear. That's what it works for them. If you change it any other way, it's going to be a disaster. So these are my views. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I'm open to your criticisms. Feel free. Like I told you, this is my opinion. I don't think she was assassinated. She was not. I just feel that this was a untimely incident, and yeah, of course you feel sorry for her. She's a young girl and you feel sorry for her father. But then again, her father took on that role of being a activist, that also while being in the country. If you had left the country and then been an activist, it's a different question. Sometimes you should not be brave. You should have common sense. Anyway, this is what I want to tell you with regards to this. Who knows, maybe one day I'll share with you Mafia story. What all they shared with me. This is some time ago. Lately, if it happened, I wouldn't tell you. Anyway, you guys take care. It's me signing off. Put your comments down below. Ciao.